following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey, I'm Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks for coming back with us this week. We really appreciate it. And here we are. We have exciting fucking news. As of this week, every episode is up on all of your podcast viewing networks, iHeartRadio, all the good stuff. So anybody who is interested in watching the shows, listening to the shows, they're on all the podcast things. And you can still watch us on Facebook and on YouTube. And you get to see us in all of our glory.
Sometimes all of our glory.
whatever glory it is that week.
Wherever you get that.
Right, Jada. So last week, Jada, you were telling us there were some red flags with your new dude. And after the show, we talked about it. Is your dude out of the picture now?
Well, I want to just clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am dating.
Yes.
So there are people that I entertain until I have my person. And sometimes, especially matchmaker and relationship coach, I tell clients, you have to date. You have to see what's out there. You have to date and see what's going on before you just jump into anything. So I am dating. Dating is fun.
Yep.
There's someone that I was spending some time with, and I don't know we'll see. There's
all right. I like this.
That there's an interest, but after my last horrific situation, which you know about, my options are open.
I love it. Well, as we all know, I've been the dating queen forever.
I know.
So, yeah. Phil is on, and he made a comment.
I love Phil. I miss Phil from Clubhouse. I
know. We've missed you too, Phil. So thank you. Hopefully, if you don't mind, Phil, even if you don't listen to us on like iHeartRadio or anything like that, if you can go and follow us there or leave us a good review, that helps us. And anybody who's listening, if you could do that, that would really be amazing. It helps us get sponsors, which I should have done this 2 years ago and didn't. But, it all happens in its own time. So here we are. So my week has been uneventful, except for I burned my face and neck with moisturizer.
But like I was saying before we started, literally you cannot tell. You look exactly the same.
Yeah,
whatever no burn.
Well, what happened was I ran out of moisturizer, and I went to the store and I just grabbed some moisturizer. I won't say the brand because they suck. And it just literally burned my face and neck, and my eyes were leaking and burning and itching. And so I stopped using it, and then my face is like sandpaper and it's peeling really bad right now. So I went to the dermatologist yesterday, and they're like, oh yeah, you're allergic to that. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, thanks for the info. And I just have slathered it today with Aqua 4. And then I applied makeup to the top of Aqua 4. So that's the only way I'm looking like I'm not,
well, you look beautiful,
burnt
honey.
Face person. So thank you. I don't want to touch my face.
Tell me about business. What's going on? I think you've got some
I got some great stuff going on. I think I said before, maybe I didn't, but if I did, sorry, I'm saying it again. I'm going to go to Virginia sometime at the end of July, and I'm going to be shooting the sizzle reel for the documentary that I'm going to be doing. And right now, it's tentatively titled Darling of the Derby. And it's about a woman who was the very first jockey that rode in the Kentucky Derby. And she is an extraordinary woman, and I'm going to be going and filming that. And then I am writing a psychological horror thriller film that I'm going to be shooting in October. It's going to be a short film that I can enter into film festivals to kind of add a little bit more credibility to my directing and producing. So I'm
Well,
doing that. I'm about to launch a crowdfunding campaign. So anybody who wants to help, please let me know. $1 helps, $20 helps, whatever. And for donors who are over a certain amount, I'll have like T-shirts or hats or fun things for them. So yeah, we'll have that stuff to talk about hopefully soon. So yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a long journey and it's been an awesome journey. It's the
Yeah.
I don't care what it takes to do what I got to do to get where I'm going to go. It's so amazing the whole way. So
Yeah.
I'm super stoked and I'm very happy. So, and my
Well,
boyfriend a bomb ass man. So I got to see him a few days ago, and yeah, it's been great. I'm very happy. So
happy for you. I will
cheers.
have a bomb ass boyfriend, man friend, actually. Boyfriend to me is weird at my age.
I know. I feel funny saying boyfriend because I'm so old, but whatever. Yeah. I gave Jada some manifesting stuff today, so we're gonna manifest some love in her life.
Some
So we'll see how
love,
that goes.
some money, some business. We're manifesting. We're doing everything.
Yeah, we are. Well, let me pull up the information for what we're doing today. So, was about, let's see, I don't know, maybe a little over a month and a half ago, my daughter ended swim for the season with school, and they had a awards banquet, and I volunteered to help set up and to do the centerpieces and stuff. And while I was there, I met this really beautiful, amazing woman, and we just hit it off, and we sat next to each other during the banquet, and we have started developing like a friendship. And she lives here in Burbank, so it's so nice because all of my closest friends live out of town. Dawn lives in Florida, Gabby lives in Wisconsin, something like that, and you live in Virginia. Janice lives in Colorado. So how these people that I love to be with, I can't ever be with all the time because they don't live close to me. And it's kind of nice to have people like Angela and Elena come and be close to me. So I love that. And I was talking to her, and I just thought she was so extraordinary. And I thought, she'd be perfect to come on the show. So I was talking to her about it, and she said that she used to be a former executive for Tinder. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we got to talking, and we went out for drinks the other night, and that was amazing. And we were chatting, and she's like, oh, let's do it on friendship and how important friendships are. Yeah. And I was like, that's amazing. So I met up with Elena for our drinks, and then the next morning, 2 of my girlfriends who live elsewhere were calling me and saying, how much they value what I do for them and how much I put into the friendship, and how I've been that steady thing in their life that they can be safe with, and that touches me. And how much that means. And then Janice was calling me, and we were chatting about some things that she's going through. And then she texted me how much it meant that I was there for her. And it's nice to be valued because, you know, growing up, I had a couple of friends because my hometown only had 190 people in my
Yeah.
hometown, and there were only a handful of girls. And I grew up with them from second grade on, and they weren't always nice. They were mean girls, and they weren't always steady. And they used to make jokes about, I'm going to be vulnerable here for a minute. They used to make jokes about this dog named Spot.
Okay.
And they would laugh and laugh, and nobody would let me in on the joke. And being naive and innocent and trusting and just sweet, I grew up so open and sweet that I never questioned in my head, could it be me they're talking about? Because I never even thought about that. But then after high school, when I started underseeing, you know, all the trauma I went through with the girls in school and the people, I didn't date the boys in my hometown because they were either assholes or they were my cousins or my uncles. So the boys didn't like it. Didn't like that I wouldn't date them, and the girls were jealous. I guess I don't know who fucking knows, but I was treated pretty shitty. And they later on, years after high school, one of the girls called me and said that she wanted to apologize for being the way she was to me in high school, and that I was always a really great, steady friend, one she could always count on. And the reason why they called me Spot was because I was that trusty dog that you could kick around and push away, and it would always come back and be happy to see you and treat you well. And to those people, fuck off.
I was gonna say something similar. Yeah.
And they know who they are. And for me, I never wanted to lose that. I never wanted to be anything other than the person I am. I'm not going to let somebody dictate, you know, making me hard or just be a different person than who I am. So it really feels good to know that, you know, grown ass women who are really got their shit together are respecting and appreciating what I have to offer in friendships. So to all my girlfriends, thank you. I love everybody so much. They're not just my friends, they're my family. And that means more to me than anything. So today we are actually talking about friendships and how important they are. And we're talking about the benefits of having close friends. And we're also going to kind of talk a little bit about traveling with friends, the do's and don'ts, and how friendships can enrich your life and improve your health. So let me introduce our guest today, Elena Timman. She juggles the role of devoted single mom, talented baker, and a skilled carpenter. She gave me this really cool wooden candle thing that she made for me the other day. I absolutely love it. She is a multi-passionate woman on a mission to create beauty and inspire others. She was previously with, like I said, Tinder. She was an executive assistant. So my bad. I said that wrong a minute ago. And she helps people connect and find love in the digital world when she was with Tinder. Now she takes that experience and gives her unique insight into important human connections. Let's bring on Elena and say hi to my beautiful new friend.
Hi.
Hi.
So happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So, Jada, this is Elena.
Well, hello, beautiful. Hi, Elena.
Hello, beautiful yourself.
So we were sharing the other night some stuff about traveling with friends, and we'll get to that. But why don't we start with you? And, you know, you tell us your insight on why this topic was important to you, and we'll go from there.
Sure. I guess I suggested friendship because especially women of a certain age or after a certain age, and that could be anywhere for anyone, but once you hit like over 40, I think your friend group kind of dwindles down and people kind of show you who they are and you don't have time for that bullshit. You're just like, okay, cool. Thanks. See ya. Bye.
Yeah.
you kind of go, okay, so now I know who that person is. Now I know who that
Yeah.
person is. And the people that are left are the people that you should treasure the most. And you can always welcome new people into your life because you never know who's, going to pop in, wink,
Hmm.
wink, and you never know who you're going to get along with. And I, as a single mom as well, it's important to support each other and lift each other up. And
Oh yeah.
you know, I like that I have a very small, close friend group. It's about quality. We talked about that. Quality over quantity any day.
Yeah.
You know that there are certain people in your life that if you called in the middle of the night and said, I've done something, and that they would be the person to be like, I'll meet you here in 15 minutes. They wouldn't even ask a question. They'll just be there and take care of it with you. So,
Yeah.
it could be anything. I didn't mention bodies at all.
It's funny that you said that. I have a really good friend. I've known her, oh my gosh, for 23, 24 years now. And a few years ago, we went and met for dinner and we were hanging out. And she's like, it was funny. She said, a friend of mine asked me at work the other day, who could I call for if you had a body in the trunk, who could you call? And she said, I could call Christine and she would say, I got a shovel in my lime. Where do I meet you? And that really got me because I agree with you.
Yeah.
That shit's important.
You know who those people are. And if you look at your friend group and you don't know if that person would do that, then you know exactly where they stand in your life. Like it's a really good litmus test, honestly,
Hmm. Hmm.
because there's certain types of friendships. There's friendships of convenience. There's friendships that are like casual, that you run into each other and see each other, and you're like, wow, that's great, good to see you, and you can pick up where you left off. And then there's friends that are long distance friends, and you were talking about that. And those are the friends that you keep near and dear because you never see them. And it's
Hmm.
that whole thing where you call up and you're like, I miss you, you're so great, and you plan things together. But then there's the people that are closest to you, that are nearby, that you would do anything for, and they would do anything for you. And those are the people that are your family. I like to
Hmm.
say family. So your
I
family.
love that.
So,
Family.
you have your family. You know who your family is because you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
feel.
agree.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you put your friends in buckets? Like I find sometimes I have like my closest friends, but sometimes I don't intermingle them because I have like their personalities are very different, and most of my friends live in other states. But in having a conversation with someone the other day, we were talking about like we've got this group of friends that we can travel with, this group of friends that we can go out with, this group of friends that we can cry with, but they're all your friends, but you just don't mix the group, if that makes sense. Do you guys find that you do that? I know I have friends that I have not yet intermingled. Um, but I don't know why I haven't actually. I think it's just because we live in different spaces. But do you guys
Hmm.
find that you do that with your friend groups as well?
Um,
For me, I think it's only because, like in LA, everybody's so freaking far apart that it's like certain friends in this area I spend time with, and it's this do a couple of friends that do different things. So yeah, only because of you know
Location.
logistics,
Yeah.
location. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to keep a lot of my friend groups separate up until like a few years ago, and when I started to enjoy the chaos. So because I was actually talking about this the other day with someone, and she was like, "No, no, no, these friends over here like this type of things, and I don't want to expose them to you and our other friends." I've noticed the past couple of years, I kind of like throw caution to the wind. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just going to invite everybody. Let's see what happens." Like
I
it's,
love that.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
everybody, different walks of life. It's my mom friends, it's my single friends, it's my work friends, it's whoever I'm close with. If they want to show up, they're going to show up. And I felt for a long time guilty if I had like an event or like a kid's birthday party. I would go, oh no, I can't invite that person because of this and that. And then I just kind of stopped and went, you know what do I care? If they want to come, great. If they don't, no big deal. So,
I find with me that if I had the opportunity to have everybody in one space, that it would work, because anybody who's my friend is going to like each other.
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Thank you. Anyways, yeah, so I just throw caution to the wind and I let the chips fall where they may, because you know
I
what?
love it.
Life's too short, and if they don't want to hang out again, then that's not my problem.
It's not your issue.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what started changing for you when okay, I don't know how to phrase this. I have this idea in my head and it's not coming to me right. So I found that as I grew older, it was harder to make friends because people aren't as open and people's lives are so busy that unless in the beginning, I'm seeing them more frequently, and then it becomes, an ever whenever kind of thing. I find that it's harder as you grow older, like you were saying earlier, Elena,
Yeah.
that it's hard to make friends. People aren't always open to it. And I think with you and oh my God, I'm so bad at names. I just drew a blank on the other mom that I met at that same function.
Elizabeth.
But Elizabeth, thank you. God, it was right there on the tip of my tongue. Elizabeth, I literally was like, okay, you guys are my new best friends. And I like purposely was like, okay, just so you know, I'm open. I almost feel like you have to like be that way because people are just not going to make an effort unless they, you know, I don't know.
Somebody has to be the brave one.
Yeah, I think
You know
so.
what I mean? Somebody has to put the wall down really quick and be like, you too?
Yeah.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important as well. It's like I do the same thing in the dating world. I try to be very open and vulnerable each time I restart or try something new. I always try not to take previous baggage with me. And same thing with making friends. It's like, well, she kind of strikes me like, no, I'm going to be open and vulnerable with her. Like, hey, you want to hang out? Cool. I have limited time. You have limited time. You have limited time. It's hard. And if the stars align and it works out, great. And I just sometimes you worry that somebody's feelings are going to get hurt because you don't invite them out to everything, or you don't even go anywhere. And I just learned recently, and I think we may have talked about this, Christine, that we're all responsible for our own feelings, and that I have to like stop being that people pleaser of always trying to make everybody feel comfortable at the cost of myself. And I just learned recently from my best friend's brother, who explained it to me because we were having some issues with things. And he's like, you're not responsible for their feelings. They have to be responsible for their own feelings. And that's true. And if it's someone who is valuable in your life and, that you provide an asset and they provide an asset, then, they're going to understand. Look, I don't go out all the time. And when I do, maybe it's with my kids or it's on a date or something. And it's not all the time that you have time free, So when it's nice and it's comfortable, you're like, hey, let's hang.
Yeah. I was actually having this conversation the other day with one of my closest friends. I've known her since we were 13 years old. And like, she's incredible. But I have found as I've gotten older, now there's so many different groups of people that are searching for friends. So you've had friends for a certain amount of time. And then as Christine, as you were just talking about, you get older and things change a little bit. There are certain like dating apps and different apps that have like people looking specifically for friendship. There's meetup groups looking for friends, especially with women. There's more groups for women looking for that kind of connection and that friendship and that space as I've gotten older versus when I was younger. Like some of my friends, I'm still two people I'm still very good friends with that I've known since I was young. But as I've gotten older, I realize my friendships are changing. But I see it's interesting that there's so many private groups that are searching, almost like a dating app. They're looking for friendship.
Yeah, I love that. So there, oh my God, what is wrong with me today? I'll get back to it because it's going to take me a second to think about it. But Phil asked a question. He said, how do you handle overly clingy, smothering friends? It's for me, I think communication is ever most important. Maybe sit down and ask your friend, even if it's by text or on the phone, to say, hey, what's going on in your life? I feel like you're needing something that maybe I'm not feeling I've been able to sufficiently supply for you. And what is it that you are needing? And maybe we can talk about whether we can do something once a week, or what do you think, guys?
Sounds like someone I used to date. What? No,
Right?
no, I think that's actually a really mature response because my reaction would be like, hey, I've been really busy. We're gonna have to figure out a time to get together and then maybe kind of, see how that goes. But I think that's a really mature response. Thank you.
Well, I think that if, like Phil, do you think that maybe because they're being clingy, they are needing a little bit of attention, or maybe they're feeling depressed and they need some kind of something to tether them to something? I mean, I always think, what is it? There's a reasoning behind an action. There always is, always. And if maybe there are just people in this world who just are overly needy, and that's one thing, but maybe that can be addressed and be say, look, I see that you want to be, spending all this time. I love spending time with you, but I not only have a job, but I have this and I have that. And it's not that I don't want to spend time with you. I can't spend as much as maybe you need. So let's plan things. Let's make specific dates to do things that we can spend time together. And you may learn something new about your friend,
I
right?
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You never know what someone's going through. Maybe the clinginess is because they're depressed or they're sad or they're, whoever who knows what they could be going through. But I think, Christine, like what you just said, having that conversation, but then also still making sure that you're still there in a sense is really important. Clinginess can be. I've had some clingy friends in my past. I've had some clingy friends in my past.
Maybe they just really look up to you. Maybe they just want to be like you. Maybe, you inspire them. Maybe there's something that they're like, "Ooh, this is awesome. I love this person so much. I just want to be around them so much." Or maybe it's too much and they're like, "Maybe you should find a hiking group to go on, or a knitting group to go on, something that is more than me, because I wish I could be there for you more, but I can't. So, maybe there's other ways that we can help you." Sometimes those kind of things are silent cries for help.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been that needy, clingy friend.
Oh,
In my,
fuck. Haven't we all?
in my youth, before I understood a lot of things, you as you get older, you kind of sit back and take a look back and go, oh, that makes sense, and you're lonely, or things are going on that you can't control, and maybe you feel like that's a situation that you can control. So if you're on top of that and always trying to be with that person, maybe it fills some kind of void. But I think that's a really great plan that you have. And yeah, maybe something's going on in their lives where they're just not having their needs met with themselves, or other family, friends, a loved one, partner. Yeah.
I agree. It wasn't until I learned to be alone and learned to like being alone that calmed down for me. And I always knew that I just felt like I didn't want to be a bother to people, so I didn't reach out as much, because I was always worried that people would think I was too clingy. But it's just that I hated being alone, and it took me a long time to learn that it's okay, and I'm great, and I really enjoy my company now. Whereas I never thought I was worthy for whatever. But it took me a long time, and I would never go out to eat alone. I would never go, do things alone or go to the movies alone. And some things I kind of enjoy doing. Some things I still won't do. I don't think I'll go bowling alone. I don't think I will go dancing alone, and I don't think I'll go to a bar alone. But whatever, baby steps.
I was the same way for a really long time. And then I took a course, but we're not going to talk about that. And then I got like really great at doing stuff alone. And I mean, I have gone to bars alone. I've gone to the movies alone. I've gone out to eat alone, all those things. But as I got older, I always thought, when you're young and you have all that anxiety and you're so scared to be alone, and then you learn about yourself and you grow and maybe you do a lot of work on yourself. And then that alone time is so treasured, especially after you have kids. You're like, when can I get some alone time? When can I just close the door and have the quiet time? And, and then you hang out with your friends. But that's awesome. That I thought I didn't think I knew anybody that did stuff like that, because I did it too.
Well, exactly. And, I want to touch on why friendships and close friendships are really important. Everybody goes through things at different times of their life. And there are going to be times that you're going to be at that high and you need someone to like be your champion and, go, oh my God, that's so incredible. You need that, that just accolades. It's helpful. Also, there are going to be times that you're going to be at your lowest and you're going to need people to be there to support you and to bring you back up and say, you know what, you got this. It's okay. We all feel this way. But close friendships, I don't think I really had them until I moved here. Because of what happened to me in high school, I had friends that I spent time with. I go dancing with, I go hang out, go do stuff with, but we didn't stay in contact because I never wanted anybody to treat me the way that my high school friends did. And when I got here, I realized I'm fine. I'm great. I'm a great friend, and I will fucking take my clothes off for some. Like if someone needs my shirt, have my fucking shirt. If someone needs me to lay, jump in front of them for a bullet, I will do that. That's just who I am. And it wasn't until I realized that those qualities are what people really want. They want somebody to be there. And I think women need to fucking be there for each other.
I agree.
And I think, look, I have great guy friends that I'm close to. That's wonderful. Most of them are gay. Some of them are not. But having women support each other is wow. It's wow. And also men supporting men, men just being their champions for each other. I think it's fucking important. And even if you're married, you're not married, you have kids, you don't have kids, having that person to go and do that with, I think is really important. And I kind of feel sad for my boyfriend sometimes because he just doesn't have those close friends. And I don't want to, sometimes I think, oh, I don't want to feel bad about going off and doing my thing. He doesn't care. He's fine doing shit on his own. But I don't think he really has any really close male bonding friends that he can just go and grab lunch with or coffee with or whatever. And I think that it's really important. I think that, your spouse or your boyfriend or your best, your female, whatever, it shouldn't just be that person. You can't just focus on that person. You got to have other variety. It's not healthy. Yeah.
It's not healthy. Yeah.
Well, I think that good friendships, in my opinion, I feel that they make our lives more meaningful and they provide a certain type of value and security and safeness that you don't necessarily have in your personal relationships. So I think it's so beautiful and so important to have that space, which is why I think there are so many different groups that allow people looking for friends, because people desire, and I think people crave that connection, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We had, oh my God, this is where I'm struggling. We had a guy on our show. Jada, you might know who this is. He's from Texas and he created the app, My Plus One. My Plus One. And
Awesome.
it is a website for someone who wants to go to dinner or go bowling or go to a movie or go to a concert. And they don't have friends that maybe like that kind of activity or don't like the band. And you want somebody to go with that maybe loves that band with you or just rocks bowling and just, you don't want to go alone. None of your friends like bowling. So it's called Find My Plus One. And you go on the website and you find somebody to go enjoy this with, and
I love it.
it's you can do it as a date, of course, but finding someone to just go as a friend is their main goal. And I love it, and I can't wait till it's in every state. But right now, I think it's just in Texas. I could be wrong, but I do know he launched it and he's trying to go nationally.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then there's, times that we need love and support from our friends when we're going through something massive. And that could be a divorce, that could be a loved one lost. And Elena is kind of going through that with her lifetime soulmate, her best friend, Julie. And this is one of the things I think we bonded over at the
The
banquet. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, no. Well, you and I bonded over this because we were both there early setting up and we were talking, and I had said I had just gotten back from a trip, and I think you had asked, like, why was your trip so fast? Like, because we were like a whirlwind. We were like in on a Monday, back on a Monday. And I was like, oh yeah, my best friend has to have her kidneys removed. And and everybody kind of looks at me funny when I say that. And most people say, no, you can't live without both kidneys. I'm like, you can, and she's going to live well. And this is a testament to Christine and why I welcomed her friendship, because she was like, what? Oh my gosh. And I said, yeah, we're looking for donors. I can't do it because I have kidney issues. So we're trying to find donors. And she literally went, I'll give her my kidney. I don't even know her, but I'll give her my kidney, because I wouldn't want to lose my best friend of 20 something years. I wouldn't want that. I'll give her my kidney. And I was like, I just met you. Are you serious? And she totally said, what's the link? I'll do my paperwork. So I was talking about everything. And next thing you know, she's like, I'm done. I did it. Let me know. I want to be tested. And she's in the queue. She's up there getting ready to, I'm sure she'll be getting notified shortly. But my best friend has polycystic kidney disease. Well, she had it. I don't know if it's completely gone, but her kidneys are gone. It's hereditary. Her family, several people in her family have it. And her kidney usage had gotten down so low. And it was at that time where her kidneys were actually so ginormous that they were pushing her organs up to her chest and her intestines to the side. Like, it was just ridiculous. It was insane. Like, I could look at her and see them.
Yeah.
And
I saw pictures.
And they're like, this is unhealthy. This isn't safe. We're going to take them out and then you'll just be on dialysis until we find you a donor. So, that's kind of what happened. So I was there, and she is so loved by so many people. And it was just like almost fisticuffs at the hospital, just to, like, because they only allowed like 1 to 2 people up to wait with her. And everybody was like, no, I want to be the meal. Some of us snuck up and we all got to sit back down again. It was a fun day. No. And so she was there, and the surgery went great. It took a really long time. It was like almost 7 hours, something like that. And then she had complications being in the hospital. We didn't know, and she didn't know, and they didn't know that she was allergic to some of the medicines that they were giving her, like the pain meds and stuff like that. And it was trying for her, because I've felt something very similar. I can't say we felt the same thing, but I felt something very similar. And anyways, she's had to like relearn to like trust her thoughts again. It really was debilitating. And she stayed in the hospital basically days longer than she was supposed to because she
Yeah.
was having all this brain fog and having all these things. And also her body was like probably in shock, trying to figure out where to put all this stuff and what's filtering and what's happening. So between those two things, her body was like fighting itself. And it was insane. And her family and I have just been, trying to surround her with love and positivity and trying to just like make sure that she knows that she's got this and that she's
Mm-hmm.
care of and that we all have her back. And any little thing that she needs, I am trying to be there for her because I know she'd do it for me 10 because that's
Yeah.
who she is. I know that. Like I would never
I
ever have
love
a
that.
doubt, ever have a doubt about it. And it's hard because, I have kids and her kid is grown and he's been helping out as well. And it's just really hard because like even today I was supposed to go and help her and then both my kids were like, no, I'm supposed to be here at this time. I'm supposed to be there at that time. And I couldn't. And I felt like I let her down.
Mm.
But like you just do these things. And like she said to me the other day, she goes, thank you so much. It was this whole, really heartfelt conversation. And I was like, no, this doesn't even feel like a burden or anything like that to me at all. In fact, I was telling her brother at one point, I go, I feel like I'm not doing enough, because this is the
Yeah.
person that no matter what happens in my life, I will spend the rest of my life. She's my soul sister, my soulmate,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
soulmate doesn't have to be opposite sex or the same sex. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It
Yeah.
can be your best friend. And
Yeah.
that's what she is. And she is such a good-hearted person. It's stupid. It
I
really
love
is. And
that.
I'm so lucky to be her best friend. And I'm grateful for her. So nothing is too big or too small. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
like, sure, whatever you need. I will do my absolute best to make sure. I actually offered to she's got 2 minute dialysis over by her house, but I was like, come live with me. I'll cook all your meals. I'll take care of you, take care of your dog, you bring your fish, whatever. I'll do it all. But I think that's like when you can do that for someone and not
Mm-hmm.
have it be like, "Ugh, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to do
Yeah.
that. You know that that's your person.
Yeah.
Like that's
I have a soul sister. I mean,
yeah.
I have several soul sisters, quite frankly.
I
Um,
love that.
so for me, Elena,
Yeah.
it only took me a nanosecond to think, what if I was going through this and I couldn't find a donor and there was people out there who didn't know to donate? And so I was immediately like, well, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Because you can live with one kidney. Who cares? You can't live without 2 kidneys and be on dialysis forever and ever and ever. You won't have the quality of life that she should be living.
Yeah.
And if I'm not a donor for her, I signed up to say that I would be a donor for anybody.
Yeah.
Um,
Kidney for a kidney. It's great. Yeah.
right.
You'd save 2 people's lives. So that's even better.
I'm a
Yeah,
donor for when something happens to me.
Me too.
If I was to die, I'm a donor. They can take every fucking inch of my body. I don't care. Um, because if it means somebody else can live, then why not? You
Yeah.
know? And if anybody ever thinks that they can't, they don't know that they can do this, please check online and check to see if there's a program that you can sign up to get tested. There are so many little children and moms and dads and people out there who just need a thread of hope. And so if someone could, go and check and see if you could be a donor for something, why not?
I
So
was going to ask you, is there how can people help her? Like, is there a place specifically for her that we can maybe share tonight for people
Yeah.
that could help?
Absolutely. I will get that over to you. I'll get that over in just a few seconds to you so you can post
Excellent.
that. Yeah.
Excellent.
And the really great thing is that even if you're, and like Christine said, and I explained that to her, and I can't even believe that you were like gung ho for it too. Even if you aren't a match for her kidney, if you stay in that queue and you're a match for someone else, it actually bumps her up further and they find her a kidney. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You save two people instead of one.
Yeah.
And I think that is like something so selfless and so incredible. And I hope that that she has someone. I hope that we find someone soon, because this was really hard to watch someone who has been like, you know, the most, like the brightest person in the room, this beacon in my everything. Because, you know, when I'm down, I'm like, hey, what's your advice on this? What, you know, what's this? She's always my touchstone. And I hope I'm the same for her. I mean, I know I am, but you know, you see her struggling. That's rough. It's so rough. And I know that she's going to come through this with flying colors. There's like not even a doubt in my mind. I just want to find this kidney for her so she can continue on. And you know, because we have to retire in Italy and have an Airbnb, which is going to be amazing. So,
well, friend you are.
Yeah, no. Welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody needs friends, you know. They called me and they were like, oh, you know, we don't need you anymore. And I was like, what do you mean you don't need me anymore? And I said, I haven't been tested yet, so we don't even know if I'm a match for anybody. And they were like, oh, she has so many people that signed up. And I was like, what? And then I talked to Elena and I was like, did she get a donor or something already? Because they're telling me I'm not on the list anymore. So they put me back on the list.
Yeah, somebody misspoke, and I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. We were pissed. We were like, what? That's not happening.
Duh. So what the hell? We like have 4 freaking minutes left.
How did that happen?
I don't know how that happens. We didn't get to touch on traveling with friends. So what I'm thinking, Elena, is maybe we just schedule you in July. I have some openings in July, and we have you come back during time that, you know, people are still traveling and going out. And we have you come back and we talk about traveling with friends and companions and how that can go awry and how that can go great. And just so you know, we have this link. It's a long one. I'll see about. Yeah, it's for Cedars. If you're in LA, you can go to cedarsinai.org, and they have a transplant center. I'm going to try to get this in with the information for the breakdown of the show episode so that people can get in there. But you want to also use Julie Miller. Is it Millerr? Oh, one R. Julie Miller. Her birth date is 11/19/65. You have to have those two things if you want to try to see if you're a match. And if anything, Google living donor and see if there's a transplant center in your area. And kidneys are a big deal. So is platelets. So is bone marrow. And I'm also a donor for, I think it's blood platelets. I get information all the time to go and do that. Oh, it's plasma. So I just signed up recently to do plasma. Those are things that can help people. And if you're not on this earth helping people, what the fuck are you doing here?
Exactly.
I mean, honestly. I don't get people who are like, oh, I'm selfish. I'm going to keep my shit to myself. Okay, well, you die all by yourself. So, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Be a jerk. Whatever.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. And I would love to come back on. And if you want to have me to come back on to talk about traveling with friends or even about online dating or whatever, I'm happy to be a part of all of it. You ladies are so amazing, and I'm so grateful.
I love that.
For you both.
We're going to have you back. We'll schedule something right after the show stops. Stay on And then we can chat off air really quick, and I'll get you in the schedule. I just want to really quickly, next week is Katie. She is from co-parenting, how to co-parent properly, and we all fucking need that. And then after that is sexual communication with Jennifer. And then I've got this really hottie patati. I've known practically his whole life. He went to school with my older daughters. He's still in my life. He calls me mom. He's a millennial, and he's a rapper, and he's coming on to talk about millennial dating. So that's cool. So come back next week and see us again. We appreciate everybody who comes every week to be part of our show. And if you could go and follow us on any of the streaming networks that does podcasts, we would really love that. Leave us a great review. So Elena, thank you for being with us. Jada, I love you. You know I love you. And until next week, same time, same place, let's keep it real.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.